Hello, hello, hello. I'm Paul Jarvis, and I am joined as always by Jack Ellis. You are listening to the Above Board podcast from Fathom Analytics. All right, sir, let's get into it. How's it going?
It's going good. And I'm just looking down and, people say I'm dusting off my mic. My microphone is actually covered in dust. Not like properly, but covered.
Yeah.
It needs a dust.
Yep. Yeah, I keep mine in a closed closet and it's...
So do I.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is your closet dusty?
It must get in under the doors. There's like little gaps around it and whatnot, and it must get in.
Weird.
But it's been a while since we recorded.
It has. I think it's probably been about a month, maybe. Something like that.
I mean, it always feels like it's less than what it actually is. And because at some point, if we go too long, we'll start hearing from people saying what's going on.
Exactly.
But listeners of the podcast have come to realize that we will either be on holiday. You never know why the podcast doesn't have an episode, because we're maybe on holiday or we're just focused and doing stuff.
I was on holiday.
You were on holiday.
And you were focused. So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. A month. Our last episode was on politics. That was a funny episode.
Did we get any I would say we didn't get any backlash, but I have no way of knowing.
Because it was balanced, I think.
Yeah.
When you don't have a team, there's not a fight. Like I actually am tuned out from politics, though. I've updated my Twitter, and so I only see who I follow. I don't see anything from the algorithm. It's completely that's it.
Yeah, just cat videos and goat pornography, and that's all.
Exactly, that's all I follow on Twitter. Exactly.
Gotcha.
It's even got the Twitter logo. I think this was made by someone who didn't like Twitter and doesn't like the rename and doesn't like the Musk era and all of this stuff. But it's really helping me. It's helping my brain. It's helping my energy, and I don't have to see I've seen videos of people getting stabbed and bleeding I don't want to see that stuff.
Yeah,
and it's not like I want to watch it, but there's a curiosity that happens when you open it. And the last video I saw, I don't even know if I want to go into this, it's a bit gory, but it was a stabbing and it was to the neck. And
yeah,
I've already gone too gory, but I don't want to see that. I'm like, I just open up X and there's people and you see that and you then think, this is happening all the time everywhere. And it skewed my view on the UK. And the UK, London's always had knife crime. It's always been, this is all big cities. There's going to be crime.
Yeah.
And it just made me think of, it's distorted my view, even though I know what the UK's like, in the good parts, that is. And no offence, Londoners. London's okay, but certain areas of London are not okay. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And they've got people going around on mopeds. But London's a weird topic, by the way. My friends say they go to London and it has got worse, noticeably worse. And these aren't political people. These are people just noticing what they see. So it's not, they haven't got an agenda to try and scare people and whatnot. They are noticing London has got worse. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll get some feedback on that. Lots of people who live in London. But no politics today.
No, exactly. So what's going on? What's new with Fathom?
Yeah.
What are we working on?
Sure. Yeah. So we're working on, I've tweeted a bunch about this. We're working on the data refactor. This has been a weakness we've had for a long time, where we've chosen to, unlike Google, we've chosen to work with our historical data. We've chosen to try and model new data to the same model we've had since day one, effectively, even in the open source version, similar data modeling. And it's not fit for where we want to go with the new data. When I say new data, I mean data since 2021. Mm-hmm. Simple things like we have to pre-aggregate the data, and by pre-aggregate I'm not actually even talking about aggregation, but we have to fit it into the same model as V1 data, which was rolled up by the hour. And whilst we don't roll up by the hour, we've had to keep roughly the same model. That has stopped us from doing things like we wanted to ship entry pages and exit pages, but we haven't been able to do that without. And it's funny because Is that easy? If we had a small amount of data, would that be easy to ship?
Yeah.
Absolutely it would. But we're dealing with billions and tens of billions, and we want our database to be fast, and we don't want to have to keep upgrading it. We want it to work well with what we've got. And we have some huge sites. In the kind of, out of all of the smaller analytics companies that aren't Google, I think we have one of the biggest sites. And I'm not going to say who, but it's a website that every single developer in the world has visited multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it. I'm cool with keeping it vague, but this site is gigantic, and I'm convinced no one has a site as big as this. They dwarf the rest of our customers for the most part. So, and we have big customers. So working on all of that, and then we're just getting into a position, multiple phases. We're shipping phase 1 very soon. It's nearly done. And then we'll be moving to phase 2 and phase 3 and phase 4. Phase 3 is when we get the entries and exits and the new ingest or the new ingest tweaks. So a few things behind the scenes, but also actual features that is going to be useful. And we're talking about a bunch of stuff, and lots of stuff is really happening. We're moving at good speed. It has been hard with the data, because the data's effectively been holding us back for a long time. And we just happened to say, you know what, let's attack this. And then we came up with a good way of doing it, with the splitting up of the data and whatnot. And now we're going to attack it, and it will just give us more room to actually attack things as we want to in the future, because we can just use the new data and just say, the old data is the old data. That's fine. We've got that. GA data, whatever. Great. But
yeah, and even me, Mr. Customer facing features, I understand how important this is and how this will make us be able to move faster with features in the future, which we need to get to. So
absolutely,
it makes sense.
It's a good example, actually. People talk about technical debt, and developers are always having to fight to get time to pay down technical debt. And we've paid down technical debt. We've introduced thousands of tests. I remember one point we spent, I want to say, a month or two, and we just added tests. And it was just because we'd done so much stuff and we hadn't got enough test coverage. So we added that. And then, the data's just been a one that we've had to not focus on. I guess we did in 2021, didn't we? We moved to single store. Mm-hmm. That was a data refactor. And we've done data migrations. We just haven't done the kind of core analytics refactor.
Yeah.
But it was needed. This is one of the best interfaces ever, and it's going to pave the way for so many cool things.
Yeah.
And I did start refactoring the front end, but I had to kill that because it was going to turn into probably a month-long project.
Yep.
That's been my focus. On the data and unlocking us there. So I've been busy with that. And it's going really good. I'm stoked. I'm just ready to have it shipped,
Yep.
Really ready. There's a lot of stuff at the moment that needs to be shipped. So
soon.
Yeah. And that's the Fathom stuff, really, focusing on that. And then we've got the WordPress drama, which I'm sure everyone's heard about. Well, and I did a tweet, and I tweeted because of you, because they're going off at WPEngine, and it feels like jealousy, and he has a really jealous vibe, this guy. And I've never talked to this guy, but the vibe is weird. And I said to you, I watched the interview with Primeagen, and I had a weird vibe when he started the call with, howdy. What is it? Howdy. I go, this is like watching South Park. This is really weird. And I've never seen that. And maybe Americans will say to me, oh, that's a normal thing for someone from that area. But it was really reminded me of South Park. And then the way he was smiling, I don't know, dude. I read people's body language and how their mannerisms and things, and I get vibes. And I pattern match and whatever else. And I just got some vibes from this guy. I don't know this guy. Maybe he's a really great guy. But the stuff he's doing is weird, and the WPEngine stuff is like WPEngine's extracting open source. They're literally providing hosting for WordPress. I don't get how this is. It's like saying that we have to. I've talked about PHP or Laravel. I've talked about Laravel in our marketing. It's like Laravel turning around and being like, "Oh, you use Laravel, so you got to pay us." I mean, they're saying that they do managed WordPress hosting and stuff like that. I mean, it's a service they offer. It's open source. I don't actually understand what leg you have to stand on. If you provided open source, it's completely free and open. Someone's offering a way to host it. And dude, let's be honest. This is a reason why we don't do open source, because we did have we had, it was well, I don't even know if I want to say, but it was a company that wanted to host our product and undercut our hosted solution, and then wanted us to spend time helping them. And if we were VC backed, we would have jumped on this and we would have been like, yeah, who cares about money, we just care about
brand
growth.
Market growth.
Exactly. But at the time we had to say, well, no, we need revenue to be able to work on this. I don't like, what does WordPress need? I don't understand it. WordPress is already Automattic or whatever is already making tons of money. Or the WordPress Foundation has money, does it not?
Yeah, and they promote an ecosystem of people build. I mean, like I was part of that, so like I know a bit about it because like I was part of it. I built WordPress themes that I built custom, that I sold as templates. I built WordPress plugins. The last company that I had was a WordPress plugin company. Like I understand the ecosystem, and even like with WPEngine, what I had told you, which led you to tweet, was that in their terms, or at least previously in their terms, was don't call your product WordPress something, call it WP something, which is literally and exactly and precisely what WPEngine did, because I had a plugin called WP Complete. And I did the same thing. It was WP, because that's what you were supposed to do. That's what WordPress said. That's what Automattic said you were supposed to do.
And they changed that to have a go at WPEngine. And they got upset because they have plans, and the plans are called, have they renamed them? But it was called like Core WordPress and stuff. It really is grasping, and it really feels like jealousy.
Yeah, I think because WordPress now also has hosting, and they haven't always had hosting. They were just a CMS company way back in the day. I mean, it's just like they're a hosting company. Same with like Flywheel that they also own. It's just a host. Like these are just hosting companies for WordPress, which there are thousands of hosting, well, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of hosting companies for WordPress. So should all of them go away? Should they have a monopoly on hosting?
Yeah, it's very strange. And then what's the revenue limit? How much can I make before I'm going to start getting slagged off by someone at WordCamp? It all feels really ridiculous, and I don't even.
Well, that felt like a shakedown too. Like either change it or I'm gonna talk shit about you at a conference.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a shakedown, and I don't know the ins and outs, but it's funny. I always think of WPEngine and I think of Jason Cohen, and I laughed at the idea of WPEngine not giving back, because I immediately think of Jason's blog and all of the stuff Jason's done for producing value for entrepreneurs, for helping people. He's responsible probably for, I can't even imagine actually how many companies have read his stuff, but he very much gives back for free. He very much is on Twitter, and I appreciate there's other owners, but I still think of WPEngine as like Jason Cohen. This guy is giving advice. Like, this is a very successful entrepreneur, and he's still in the community giving advice. He's giving, and it's not like he's selling a course. He's like, I'm giving you this advice to sell my. He's just giving it out.
Yeah,
this is a good guy, and it makes me laugh when they're like, hey, then they don't need to give back. And sure, maybe they do, but I don't think it's right to do what they did. It looks really, really bad. I haven't heard anyone give a sensible argument for. Actually, one person who's apparently quite well known in the WordPress community made clear to me that this isn't the WordPress community. It's Matt who's going on.
Yeah, well, it's also Automattic, which is a company that's not the WordPress like open source product.
But who controls the foundation? Matt does.
Yeah.
Or is there a board? No,
Maybe,
can't be
I'm
a
not
board.
sure.
No, who am I kidding? There can't be a board. Maybe there is a board, but I find it hard to believe there's a board after seeing what happened. Like, yes, WPEngine is making a bunch of money. Yes, you could have made that money. Yes, you feel like a certain way because they are providing something, and they're making a ton of money. And it's sure you can be like, oh, this is my software and I built it. I don't think you can be an open source if that's how you're going to feel.
No. I mean, I posted in our group chat that similar happened to me, where somebody had an open source like one-page statement of work contract, and that I used that in a product that I made, that I sold, and that I referenced the open source thing that I had. And then the guy emailed me and was like, "I can't believe you're selling this." And I looked at the open source, how it worked, and it was like, it doesn't say anything about like you're not allowed to resell it.
Yeah.
And like I linked to it as well. I ended up sending him a couple grand. I still wish I hadn't. Like I still feel like I was too much of a pushover for doing that.
You were trying to be fair, but
I was trying to just being fucking Canadian. Bit me in the ass
trying
again.
to be fair. Oh man, yeah. And I think this, honestly, this jealousy that they're feeling, and because I think it is. Try and play devil's advocate though. Can you think of they see it as extracting from open source and not providing anything back to the WordPress community? To me, they're providing a service where they're offering hosting for WordPress. Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah, why does a private company have to?
No, it doesn't. That's it.
Like private company, like corporations are basically sociopaths.
So because if I say that I'm going to, yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it's profit. I mean, yeah, you can't hate a company for making money.
Yeah.
Sure, you could say, oh, it'd be great if they gave back more time. Well, sure, that would be great. I mean, it'd be great if I contributed to Laravel Core. You know, like there's a bunch of stuff, but the idea that they can't say that they're offering hosting for WordPress because WordPress is trademarked, and that they need to pay a fee to be able to have the privilege to say that they're hosting WordPress. I made a joke and I said, you know, it's going to go from managed WordPress hosting to managed hosting for the company or the software that shan't be named, like a Voldemort thing from Harry Potter.
Exactly.
That's literally how it feels.
Is it because they're like, do they better SEO? Like, is that what it is? I'm serious. Like, is that what it is?
Matt led in one of the articles he wrote. It was like, oh, my mum thought that WPEngine was WordPress. It's like, and I that was my joke. I said that my mum confused Bill Gates's bank account with my bank account. Like, you know, so I'm going to sue. But it doesn't. It's not a good reason. Like, you know, I don't know how old his mum is. I'm not going to have a go at his mum. But
8. No, of course not. But. Like, that's also just such a weird test.
Yep.
Like, WPEngine, at least in Google on my computer, not logged in or anything, but Google obviously changes results based on the person. But if I put in WordPress hosting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, WPEngine is 9th.
Yeah. They've got a strong brand, though. And it is its brand.
Yeah.
I think they've done a great job. I have good... They are providing hosting. I can't. My brain, maybe I'm going in circles here, but I can't find a world in which they're doing anything wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's weird. Like, we're going to open source our software, but don't you dare mention like that you host. It's so weird. It's fake. And then it's like, okay, is it real open source? Fuck, man. I can't. I'm exhausted with this topic, to be honest with you. I'm ready to move on if you are.
Yeah, that's fine. So
this is weird. Imagine having that much money, though, and still caring about this stupid stuff. Maybe it's investor returns. So imagine you've got millions. I don't know how much money this guy has, right? But imagine you're that rich, and you wake up and go, I'm just going to pick a battle because this company's making more money than my company. Like, who cares? You've got millions of dollars. Is it about principle? Like, sure, I can try and make it about principle, but a lot of people aren't buying that it's about principle.
I mean, I think that's what Matt is trying to make it about. I think that's his core argument, is that it's the principle of the thing. But then that also doesn't make logic sense to me. So I'm not sure, to be honest.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we can have Jason and Matt on the show, and you can referee.
Okay, it's funny. Jason gives me really like. Jason said he'll come on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, this has been in the works. Yeah, this has been in the works. No, I watched Matt on a interview with Primogen, and I didn't. It was like it felt like a bit of a politician, and I wouldn't talk to Jason about WordPress stuff anyway because there's different stuff going on, right? And
there's more interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I was happy when I saw WPEngine, and no, Jason, I want to talk to you about just managing teams and growing the technical staff and all of the things that I feel that he has felt and been through. I want to see kind of that'd be really fun to pick his brain because I think he's actually the CTO now of WPEngine. He didn't want to be CEO. And they have someone else, and very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Anywho, so that's it. Fathom work and some WordPress drama.
All right. Well, this is a shorty, but I think we can probably call it there because we both want to get back to work.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us talk a little bit about Fathom, a little bit about developer type drama. And we will catch you again in a couple weeks, probably.